Alright. This is Vincent with Vincent Gaming, and today I'm going to be covering some of the things you can buy from any of the gold bullion vendors. I'm splitting this out due to the fact that Regs, the gold bullion vendor at Vault79 for the Secret Service, sells a really large amount of stuff compared to the other gold bullion vendors, and that ended up making the video really long compared to the other videos that I've done for gold bullion vendors. Today I'm going to be covering the Hellcat Power Armor and the Pepper Shaker and the Pepper Shaker mods, and I'm also going to go ahead and cover the Strangler Power Armor. Now, I want to be clear here, the only place you can get the Strangleheart Power Armor is from Regs at Vault 79, and it does take Vault Steel. You can only get the Vault Steel from the Rusty Pick currently. You used to be able to get it from doing the Vault Raids, but they've taken that out of game. So the reason I'm covering it today is because I've got the full set and I've made the full set, and I want to show you guys what it looks like and talk about it in comparison to the Hellcat Power Armor. So let's get into it. Alright, this is the Hellcat Power Armor here, and you can see is this just this standard looking power armor. Nothing much to it. And let's take a look at the stats. Now the arm, the legs, and the helmet all have basically the same stats. The damage resistance is 68 ballistic, 48 energy, and 48 radiation. And as you can see, the arm is the same, the helmet's the same, the left leg's the same, and the right leg's the same. The torso is different with 96 ballistic damage resistance, 80 energy, and 80 radiation resistance. Now the big thing about this particular power armor is the reduction in incoming ballistic damage by 2%. So that damage resistance is 60. It's a little bit misleading because you actually take less damage because of the fact that the set bonus reduces incoming ballistic damage by 2%. Now the other thing that you need to know about this particular set of power armor is it has all the same mods as everything else does. You can find legendary versions out in the wild doing events, or you can make legendary versions yourself. Let's take a quick look at that real quick. So you can't add legendary mods to the helmet, but you can add them to the legs, the armor, and the torso. So here we go. There's not currently a legendary mod. I wanted to go ahead and add one. Let's look at the 3-star. You can see it takes 5 legendary cores and 4 legendary modules. 2-star takes 3 legendary cores and 3 modules, and 1-star takes 1 core and 2 modules. So that's the Hellcat Power Armor. The only other thing that I want you guys to see is the paints. So I actually think this power armor is kind of boring. If you look at the paints, you can add the full set. This is from the Atomic Shop and the Score System. You see the Ace Full Assault paint, the Black Rider paint, the Captain Cosmos, of course, both sets, Commissioner Chaos with the screen, and it just keeps going. It's got a fairly nice array of paints that you can add to it to dress it up a little bit. So let's go ahead and pick that up here. And then I'm going to go ahead and put the Strangleheart down so we can take a look at that real quick. Now there's another reason that I wanted to show you guys the paints. I'm going to show you why here in just a second. Well, let's take a look at this. This is the Strangleheart Power Armor. And it's what you're seeing here is the Strangleheart Vines. And I've actually added a jetpack. And we're going to take a quick look here, and what you can see is the torso has a damage resist of 113 ballistic, 98 energy, and 125 radiation. Now this is important because the reason that I went ahead and went through the trouble of getting enough gold bullion to buy all the mods that I wanted and all the full set of power armor and going through the Rusty Pick to buy the Vault Seal, which you have to have in order to build this thing, and building the whole set and putting legendary mods on it is because of that radiation resistance. This particular set of power armor currently has the best radiation resistance in the game. It also adds a set bonus, as you can see, where it adds acid damage to all armed attacks, and nearby enemies take acid damage. Now that's not why I went and built it. I built it for the extra radiation resistance, because I find that running things like Radiation Rumble or doing the Scorched Beast Queen, if they don't set the bomb correctly, what have you, they tend to be taking more radiation damage than I want, especially since I'm running a bloody build. I'm already fairly low health. Cutting back on any that kind of extra damage is important to helping me stay alive. So we're going to see here is the torso, of course, like I said, 113, 98, 125. And the arm is 68 ballistic damage resistance, 59 energy damage resistance, and 75 radiation. Of course, the helmet's the same, and the legs and arms are the same. So you can also add legendary mods to this full set. And just like the other set. Ooh, nice glitch. I broke the jetpack. Excellent. Anyway. There we go, it's fixed now. The legendary mod, of course, is still the same. Still 5 legendary cores. Still 4 modules. If you want to remove it, not even sure how to remove it, actually. So you can make all the different kinds of jetpacks. And of course they all take more or less the same thing. You have to have the ability to make the jetpack, and it's adhesive aluminum, asbestos, nuclear material. That's all easy to get. And pure cobalt flux and pure violet flux. The one I have the most trouble with is the violet flux. And even a regular jetpack takes the same thing. So if you want to make one that looks a specific way, I would recommend you start with that one, and then you're not making the jetpack twice. So here's what I wanted to talk about, the Strangler Heart paint. So this is actually a paint job. And I'm going to go out on a limb, and I suspect that if I change this, then what's going to happen is I'm going to lose that set bonus. So I'm not going to do that. And that's the Strangler Heart power armor. So the next thing we're going to cover is the Pepper Shaker. Now what I did was I went through and I added the full set of damage increasing items for the Pepper Shaker that I'm using. You see I've got Nerd Rage here. Again, I'm running a bloodied build. It's a low health build. When below 20% health, you gain 20% damage. So that's important, because if you're not running a low health build, then the Nerd Rage doesn't ever kick in. And what I've done is, because the Pepper Shaker is actually both a heavy gun and a shotgun, I've added as many heavy gunner perks and shotgunner perks as I could manage. Now, if you don't know, both those perk sets have what they call diminishing returns. As you can see here, a 1-star Master Shotgunner perk card starts out with 10% damage for a 1-star. 2 stars is only 15 instead of 20. 3 stars is 20%. Obviously you're seeing the heavy gunner instead of the shotgunner, but I guarantee you the shotgunner is exactly the same as you can see on screen right now. So this was what I found was the best way to distribute the available points, because you only have 15 points to get the absolute most amount of damage from this gun. I'm not saying I recommend running this way. I never run this way, but I wanted to show you the maximum amount of damage that you could get running this particular weapon. So let's take a look at the gun. Let's try that again. There we go. Alright, here we're seeing the Pepper Shaker. And like I said, this is a bloody Pepper Shaker. That's important because I'm running a bloodied build. If it wasn't running a bloodied build, then the bloodied portion of the legendary mod here wouldn't be much good. This is an item recipe that you can get from running Meat Week. That's an event that's in game usually for about a week, and it's tradable. So if I wanted to sell this, I could sell it to one of you guys. If somebody wanted to sell it to me, they could sell it to me. No big deal. The recipe is also tradable. You can get it from player vending machines. You can get it from Meat Week. But if you missed it during Meat Week and there isn't a player that's got it in their vending machine right now, then you can't get it. So let's take a look at the pepper shaker. Once you've built it, then you can go ahead and add the legendary mods. And of course, here's the legendary mods. And what you're seeing is basically the same thing we saw with the power armor, which is a 3-star legendary mod. It has 5 legendary cores and 4 legendary modules. Alright. So, start with a standard barrel. If you currently see on the screen, because of the bloodied build that I'm running, this thing does 222 damage. Alright. A dual barrel jumps us up to 228 damage with a fire rate of 61, as opposed to 222 and a fire rate of 41. The hex barrel actually does less damage, going down from 222 to 216, but the fire rate goes up from 41 to 82. And then the single barrel is hard to get a handle on, because what this does is this fire more pellets per shot. So that sounds informative, but it really isn't, because you don't know, or at least I haven't been able to determine, the number of shots that come out without that modification and the number of shots that come out after the modification. So what this seems to do is this distributes this damage across more shots. So if you hit one monster with all the shots, then you should be doing the same amount of damage. If you hit 2 monsters with half the shots each, then because there's more shots, those monsters would take more damage, because it's going to be a specific amount of damage per shot. So this is good if you need to hit, a wide area, but probably not great if you're fighting individual monsters. So, standard magazine, 222 damage. Laser magazine jumps us up to 222 regular damage and 37 energy damage, and changes the ammunition type from shotgun shells to laser cells. And then you can also change it, instead of changing it to laser, you can change it to plasma. The exact same amount of damage, but it changes it to plasma cells instead of laser cells. It also changes the color of the laser that comes out. This is red and this is green. So the sights, standard sights, has a range of 96 and an accuracy of 32. The gunner sight still has a range of 96 but an accuracy of 44. And then I don't currently have any skins for this thing, so I can't show you any of the other available appearances. And that's pretty much it for the pepper shaker. The only difference is, like I said, you can build this thing. So if you wanted to build the pepper shaker, then what you would do is you would go into heavy guns here. Okay, if we scroll down, we see the pepper shaker. Take 6 adhesive, 7 aluminum, 17 gears, 8 oils, 12 screws, 16 springs, and 43 steel. Now it's possible that there's some perks that will reduce that sum. I know there is for the Gauss minigun, but I haven't found any that works for this particular gun yet. And that is the pepper shaker. And just a quick look at what it looks like here. You can see I haven't modded this one yet, so it's the normal 4-barrel set. There you go. So that's the Strangler power armor, the Hellcat power armor, and the pepper shaker. So hopefully you guys like this, and I'm going to be going through the costs when I go through regs. I'm not going to be covering the damage reductions, I'm not going to be covering what they look like, and I'm not going to be covering the mods extensively, because the mods are pretty much the same across the board for the power armors. Alright, if you have any questions, please leave a comment. If you have any comments, please let me know. And if you like what I do and want to see more of this kind of content, please like and subscribe. It really helps out the channel. Thanks, folks.